In the annals of Christian history, few figures are as enigmatic and gruesome as Bartholomew, one of Jesus' 12 apostles. But what if I told you that this holy man met an end so horrific, it would make even the most hardened History Channel viewers squirm? Prepare yourselves, folks, because we're about to dive into the blood-soaked tale of Bartholomew's martyrdom. Now, before we get into the gory details, let's set the scene. We're talking about the 1st century A.D., a time when the Roman Empire ruled with an iron fist and early Christians were about as welcome as a skunk at a garden party. Bartholomew, also known as Nathaniel in some accounts, was one of Jesus' inner circle, chosen to spread the good word far and wide. But here's where things get interesting, and by interesting, I mean absolutely horrifying. According to tradition, Bartholomew's missionary journey took him to Armenia, or possibly as far as India. Now, you might think preaching the gospel would be a relatively safe gig, but boy, would you be wrong. Legend has it that Bartholomew's message didn't sit too well with the local authorities. And when I say, didn't sit too well, I mean they decided to turn him into the world's most gruesome arts and crafts project. Brace yourselves, because this is where things get seriously messed up. The most widely accepted account of Bartholomew's death states that he was flayed alive. That's right, folks. They peeled his skin off like a human banana. But wait, it gets worse. As if that wasn't enough of a bad day, they then decided to crucify him. Talk about adding insult to injury. Now, I know what you're thinking. Surely, this can't be true. Well, let me tell you, the evidence for this brutal execution is so compelling that Bartholomew is often depicted in art holding his own skin. That's right, he's the patron saint of leather workers, tanners, and bookbinders. But here's where things get even more bizarre. Some accounts suggest that after being flayed, Bartholomew was crucified upside down, like Peter. Others say he was beheaded. It's like the ancient world's version of a choose-your-own-adventure book, but with 100% more torture. Now, you might be wondering why anyone would go to such extreme lengths to silence a preacher. Well, it turns out Bartholomew was a bit of a troublemaker in the eyes of the local pagan priests. Legend has it that he cast out a demon from the daughter of a king, which led to the royal family's conversion to Christianity. Needless to say, this didn't go over well with the established religious order. But Bartholomew wasn't just any old exorcist. He was said to have a special knack for battling demons. In fact, one story claims that he exorcised a demon from a statue of a pagan god, causing the idol to shatter. Talk about a smashing performance. Of course, as with many tales from this period, separating fact from fiction can be trickier than trying to eat soup with a fork. The earliest written accounts of Bartholomew's martyrdom date back to several centuries after his death, leaving plenty of time for embellishment and exaggeration. But regardless of the exact details, one thing's for sure, Bartholomew's dedication to his faith was skin deep ... and then some. His gruesome end has cemented his place in the pantheon of Christian martyrs, inspiring believers for nearly 2 millennia. Now, you might be thinking, that's all well and good, but what's the relevance today? Well, buckle up, because Bartholomew's legacy is more alive than you might think. In Armenia, where tradition holds that he met his grisly end, there is a monastery dedicated to him that houses a relic claimed to be a piece of his flayed skin. Talk about keeping a piece of history. But it's not just in far-off lands that Bartholomew's influence can be felt. His feast day, August 24th, is still celebrated by Christians around the world. In Italy, there's even a tradition of blessing animals on this day. And let's not forget the impact on popular culture. Bartholomew's gruesome demise has inspired countless works of art, from medieval paintings to modern films. But perhaps the most intriguing aspect of Bartholomew's story is what it tells us about the early days of Christianity. This was a time of intense persecution, when believing in Jesus could literally cost you your skin. Bartholomew's martyrdom serves as a stark reminder of the price many early Christians paid for their faith. It also raises some interesting questions about religious conflict and the lengths people will go to defend their beliefs. In an age where religious tensions still simmer in many parts of the world, Bartholomew's story feels eerily relevant. But let's not end on such a somber note. Instead, let's take a moment to appreciate the sheer badassery of Bartholomew. This was a guy who, according to legend, faced unimaginable torture without wavering in his faith. Whether you're religious or not, you've got to admire that level of commitment. And hey, if nothing else, Bartholomew's story serves as a reminder that no matter how bad your day is going, at least no one's trying to peel your skin off. So there you have it, folks. The tale of Bartholomew, the apostle who gave new meaning to the phrase skinned alive. It's a story that's equal parts inspiring and horrifying, a testament to the power of faith and the depths of human cruelty. But before we wrap up, I've got a question for you. What other historical figures do you think deserve the gruesome death spotlight? Drop your suggestions in the comments below. Just try to keep it PG-13, okay? And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the dark side of religious history, why not hit that subscribe button? We've got plenty more tales of terror, triumph, and inexplicable human behavior coming your way. Remember, history isn't just about dusty old books and boring lectures. It's about real people who lived, loved, and sometimes got their skin peeled off for what they believed in. So the next time someone tells you history is dull, just tell them about Bartholomew. That ought to shut them up. Until next time, this is Warriors of Light Verse Hub, reminding you that the past is stranger than fiction, and sometimes a whole lot more painful. Stay curious and stay inspired.